Hey everybody, I'm back. It's been a couple weeks, so that means that we're going to read some more comments. Now, for those who haven't watched Don't Read the Comments, well, first of all, what's wrong with you? Second of all, this is a new series I've come up with to address the influx, the barrage of feedback that I've gotten on the Kicking the Seat YouTube channel and at kickseat.com. Now, barrage is subjective because some people might say 6 comments. I get that, within a minute of posting anything. Well, I don't quite have that luxury, but I do have a devoted and inquisitive fan base, small but mighty, as my friend Mark, the movie man Krawcheck, would say, the guy who's responsible for inspiring this series. So all praise and blame goes to him. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a number of the comments that we've received in the last couple of weeks, I think, since the last time we did one of these videos. And we'll address them. I feel like instead of just kind of typing away and giving some pithy little bits of feedback on the comments themselves, I'd address them in a more open forum like this, because sometimes by expounding in the context of sort of a spoken word piece, as you're seeing here, complete with fumbling and stumbling and all, gives a chance to open up some of the ideas and really get into responses rather than, great, thanks, I disagree or I agree. So we're going to jump right into it right here. We've got, first of all, this is a comment that came from the first Don't Read the Comments, from Matt. Thank you for your kind words, Ian. Keep up the good work, and I hope you'll cover more Hammer films in the future. It's always a pleasure to get your fresh take on them. Well, Matt, you are in for a treat, because as last year you saw, since you've been following the channel, we did a series called Hammerland with myself and Aaron Christensen of Horror 101 with Dr. AC. Definitely check him out. But Hammerland was our series, went all 12 months of last year covering the Frankenstein and Dracula movies of the Hammer film, the Hammer Studios. So we're going to continue that in 2022 with a new series called Son of Hammerland, which is actually launching this coming week. So you'll be able to get our opinions on The Vampire Lovers, which is not officially a Dracula movie, but it does involve vampires, and I think Peter Cushing is in it. I haven't actually watched it. I'm going to check that out today. So stay tuned. I think that's coming out on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, as far as the old calendar goes. But thanks again, Matt. Let's see. Next we have, man, I want a play button, from Mark the Movie Man Krawcheck. Speak of the devil. This is in response to the 400th YouTube subscriber video that I posted last week. I'm very happy to say that this is the third of the play button videos I've been able to do in the last year. YouTube has been kindly enough to send me play buttons for every 100 subscribers that I get. And when I say YouTube, I mean that very loosely. And Mark, I would say that when you say, man, I want a play button, I would like to say to you, Mark, my dear, dear friend, you can literally make that happen. Next, we have Anthony A. Perez talking about Scream, which, as you can see from the thumbnail, I titled Scram. My review with David Fowley of Keeping It Real went up last week, and we had a rather lengthy discussion on why we did not care for Scream 2022, or just Scream as it's known. Here's a good example. It's a movie that makes fun of the tropes of modern day sequels and reboots, just taking the same name as the films that inspired them, yet it just goes ahead and does it. It's cute, but doesn't quite work. Anyway, Anthony says, I really enjoyed this film! Exclamation point. So that's some good enthusiasm there. I definitely understand a lot of the criticisms, and have some myself that touch on spoilers, but it was a fun ride overall. I enjoyed hearing your take on it. I reviewed it myself and was curious what others had to say. Solid review. Well, Anthony, I'm sorry to say, I'm embarrassed to say this, I don't know if you've got, well, I should just check your YouTube channel. I assume you've got one, because you said you reviewed the film, so I'll have to go look that up. I'm just looking at that now, so unfortunately, sorry, I'm kind of caught here, but I will check that out. If you haven't posted anywhere or haven't shared a link out, please feel free to pop back in the comments, even of this video, and share the review. I'd like to check it out and see what your thoughts are, because even though I didn't care for it and it wasn't high on David's list, we're into seeing everybody's opinion, so maybe we can learn from each other. So thanks a lot for commenting. See, this is the thing. Sometimes Don't Read the Comments lives up to the premise with which I started it, which is not only just talking through some of these questions and bits of feedback, but also, I've gotten a lot of negative comments on this channel, and it's fun to answer those. But these have been really positive so far. So we'll keep on going. Next, we have Don Shanahan, friend and friend of the channel of the Cinephile Hissy Fit podcast, and Every Movie Has a Lesson, and 25 Years Later, basically a film critic of all the sites. So he says, in reaction to the Power of the Dog review that I also did with David Fowley a few weeks ago, I didn't really care for it at all. I know this is one of the big contenders for award season and stuff, but I'm just not seeing it. And apparently, neither is Don. He says, right there with you, Ian and David, I'm so middle and low middle on this one. I think Don actually liked this video, which is great because for the first week or so that this review was up on YouTube, it actually had a downvote and no upvotes. And now it's exactly 50-50. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I keep wanting to call him by your name because it just reminded me of that film in so many not so flattering ways. But yeah, Power of the Dog, for me, it was just a dog. You can check it out on Netflix for yourself if you want, though. All right, so now we have Jeremy Cook commenting on the Boba Fett Book Club Chapter 4 roundtable that we did the other night. For those of you who are unaware, me and the roundtable of critics every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central, we do a live stream here on the Kicking the Seat YouTube channel covering the latest episode of Book of Boba Fett. And it started off much like our Mandalorian series, very enthusiastic, but very quickly went downhill in terms of our patience with the show, our estimation of the show, or hoping that Favreau and company pull it out. But that hope is quickly waning. So he said, y'all had me cracking up last night. Definitely going to tune in again next week. So thank you, Jeremy. We look forward to having you again in the chat. And you can join us live, as I mentioned, at 8:30 p.m. Central on the Kicking the Seat YouTube channel on Wednesdays for as long as the show is going on. Be sure to bring alcohol. I am drinking blue milk, a shot of blue milk for every episode that they do not get off of Tatooine. So I'm going to be lactose intolerant, if not drunk, by the end of this series, I feel. All right. Lastly, we have Everon727 with a very, I think, helpful comment. I like it when people send examples with their feedback. This is in response to a new series that I launched last week called Featured Extras, in which I looked at the Dune 4K Blu-ray put out by Warner Brothers, and yeah, I just kind of broke down some of my favorite special features on that as a way to kind of preserve, at least in the public pop consciousness, the importance of supplemental features like commentaries, behind the scenes things on physical media. So I was talking about how in lieu of a nice feature-length documentary on the disc, which is it's a really fine disc, but there's no commentary, there's no feature-length doc. There's a handful of featurettes that are between 3 and 8 minutes long. Wouldn't it be nice if there was something a bit more robust? Well, Evron727 writes in to say, Denis breaks down a 5-minute scene in 17 minutes for Vanity Fair. This is what I would love in special features section of the movie. I'll watch him break down the whole movie. It would probably take him 5 hours, but it would be a great extra. I actually have watched that segment, and it is Denis talking about, I call him Denis now, but Mr. Villeneuve talking about the scene in Dune with Timothée Chalamet, Charlotte Rampling, and Rebecca Ferguson, the Gam Jabbar scene in which young Paul Atreides is put to the test to find out if he is, in fact, the new galactic messiah. It is quite fascinating. It's sort of an extended version of what you see on those Dune extras, but taken to the nth degree. You've got Villeneuve against a white background. He's got some kind of like a Surface tablet and a pen. And in the way that sports commentators will sometimes draw over footage of the game to highlight plays and things like that, he does that, breaking down elements of the scene. It's quite cool. He talks about the sound design, the performance, how the scene relates to the original text of Frank Herbert's Dune, and how he had to make some changes and also preserve certain elements of it. He also talked about how important it was for him as a person who read Dune 40 years ago to be true to that sort of child teen geek version of himself when making the movie, making it something that he would be proud of. Or that I guess the younger version of himself would be proud of the older version of himself. It is quite a cool feature, and the link is actually here in the comment, but I will drop another link in the description of this episode below so you can check it out. Yeah, so I think that's Yeah, that's all the comments that we have for right now. So thank you for everybody who wrote in, and I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Don't Read the Comments. If you would like to provide some feedback, either on any of the videos that I posted throughout the YouTube channel, I've got like 331 of them. So comments on anything. I got one last time that was from an Onward review that I did 2 years ago. It's all great. So yeah, leave me any kind of feedback. All questions and comments will be addressed here on Don't Read the Comments. I just ask that you keep them civil, keep them smart. If you have criticisms, back them up instead of "you suck." But if you don't want to do that, I will come up with some kind of reply. So yeah, thank you for watching this. Thank you for subscribing. Hopefully you're subscribed. If you're not, please do subscribe to the Kicking This Seat YouTube channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give this video a thumbs up. Tell all your friends. And until next time, whenever that is, whatever that is, thanks very much and take care.